Welcome to the Youth with a Mission news show for December 2023. This month, we'll hear about how the gospel can help in the midst of a civil war in Nigeria. We hear about the return of the MV YWAM Koha to their home port after their emergency repairs in Fiji. We'll also hear about a mission-building team in Vanuatu. Welcome to the upcoming Creation Care Forum 2023. Also hear about YWAM Ships Philippines Outreach and another YWAM Meme review. So again, thank you for downloading this, the 140th episode of the Youth with a Mission News Show podcast. I'm your host, Bill Hutchison. You can contact us, subscribe to future episodes, leave comments, and find links to all the stories we talk about in the show notes for this podcast at ywampodcast.com/140. So we actually get to hear an amazing story about how God moved through YWAM to help in the midst of a civil war in Nigeria.
My name is Paul Dangtumda. I'm from Burkina Faso, and I'm leading the campus in Port Harcourt. A few years ago, pollution of the oil started destroying their fish and the water, started destroying their farms with a lot of misery. The benefit of the oil wasn't coming anymore into the Niger Delta, but it was in the hand of corrupt politicians. And the University of Ibadan, where some group of students was meeting together to challenge the injustice and the colonial masters. The students stand up to fight against that injustice. They start fighting in the campuses. Some politicians find an opportunity to use those cult groups to eliminate the opposition party. And they start arming them with gangs. And as they arming them with gangs, they start to invoke some protection with voodoo and witchcraft. I remember one day, I walked in 8 villages. I saw a lot of destructions, and people are no more living there. And you even can see dead body under the banana trees and under the mango trees. Militants and rebels and pirates get involved, and those militants start fighting the government against injustice. We cannot fight injustice with injustice. The militant wasn't winning the war, the government wasn't winning the war. It was a disaster. The government was looking for solution to come out. But also, the militant was also looking for solution, for peace. But both sides, they wasn't talking to one another. They invited us with all the different church leaders. What do we do to bring peace in the Niger Delta? And some say we need to organize a prayer meeting in the big stadium. And everybody agree with that. But after the prayer meeting, what? This was the question of the government and the oil company. And then at the end, they also bring a big book with envelopes. They didn't want us to spend money putting fuel in our car to come to the meeting. But when they was giving, I realized the envelope was more bigger than just for fuel, for petrol to put in our car. And I feel in my heart, God doesn't want us to take that money. I stood up and I walked out, and the other followed me. I didn't know that the TV was still filming. And one of the things also I didn't realize is the militant themselves was having some spy. In the middle of the night, they knock at my door. I realized my wife and the children was inside the room. And I remember my friend Alphonse Riza from Uganda. We did the school together in Kona here at the university campus. And I remember his story where people come and knock at the door. They end up shooting him. And the wife and the children heard all the noises. And the wife was traumatized and struggled with that for many years. And suddenly I said to myself, if it have to happen, I don't want it to happen in front of my wife. And I said to them, can we go somewhere else and discuss about it? They accepted. And they asked me those questions. Why you didn't take the money? I said to them, we are a mission that live by faith. We trust God. to provide for our need. When I was explaining the value of our missions and what we stand for, God used it to touch their heart, and I led them to Jesus. And this was the opening. I didn't know that it was one of the leaders, the main leader, that have a camp, a militant camp.
So what you, if you're listening and not watching, the last text that they actually had on that video was to say that there were 3,000 former militants who have now gone through YWAM and have had their life changed by God. And also, right now, 2/3 of Port Harcourt's staff are former militants. So people who have come out of that lifestyle to instead serve in God. Now, in the last 14 years, more than 62,000 Christians have been killed and over 5 million displaced in Nigeria by the Islamists there. This Christmas, over 140 were killed on attacks in 20 different communities in central Nigeria on or around Christmas Day. Now, we've seen what God can do in that video. And, you know, we can see how he can affect the hearts and even the most hardened killers. I mean, 3,000 have already gone through YWAM and had their life transformed. Now, we need to continue to pray that God would have his way in Nigeria and that they would know the peace that we all have through Christ Jesus. So you need to pray that that would happen so that things like what happened on Christmas Day this year do not continue to happen in that nation. Now, last month, we shared with you about the repairs to the MV YWAM Koha was required in Lautoka, Fiji, as well as the amazing provision that God had for them for these repairs. So the repairs actually required for the vessel was because of an issue with the drive shaft. So a report from YWAM Ships Managing Director Marty Emmett stated that the dry dock and repair work was successful, and she returned back to the water on Friday, December the 15th, and then passed the sea trial on Saturday. So the YWAM Koha departed Fiji on Monday the 18th, and they arrived back in their home port, Vessels Works Wharf in Tauranga, on Sunday, December 24th. Now, during the time in Fiji, the vessel was able to provide 1,213 people with health services, as well as 3,891 with dental, optometry, or general medical care. So earlier this year, Vanuatu was hit by a cyclone that caused a lot of damage to the islands and to the YWAM locations that are located there. YWAM team recently visited the island to help with that rebuilding process.
My name is Jack Depute, live in Sydney with...
I'm Saskia Depute, also live in Sydney, but I'm from Switzerland.
We heard about this through my dad, who had come to Vanuatu a long time ago with his father to do something similar and clean up after a cyclone.
Inspiration, I think, came from a couple of sources. When I was a child, my father was part of it, my parents were part of a team to come to Vanuatu to help rebuild after a cyclone, Cyclone Uma in 1987. And that was a turning point for me in my life, where A, I saw something about the value of helping people, and B, I started a career in construction, having otherwise thought I'd be a marine biologist.
Namlo mi Nelson Bani. Ika mo semuan na carpentry instructor mo semtai mi managem sentaya. Mi look out school or some school mi managem school mo semtai mi teaching carpentry. Mi very good mi clad lem mo sem se ilegam lo start lo rebuilding back sentaya. Lo help mo young fella. Lo hitcha life lo kita mo lo life we ba lo tube lo usibim ko ta still life ko ta mo give skills training ko wera.
My name's Rod. I'm from Australia. We've been in missions for about almost 40 years now, and I think we've seen the incredible potential of people from the islands, from the Pacific. This is a great opportunity for this to be not only something that's incredibly blessing to Vanuatu, but also incredibly blessing to the nations of the world, as Vanuatu really takes its place as a mission-sending nation as well as a missions-receiving nation.
It's been great to see this place come up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's been wonderful just interacting with the children and the mamas and just getting that little exchange, even if they don't speak much English and we don't really communicate that well. The smiles and the waves and the welcoming and just the joy that people have, you can share that without much of a language.
For us, starting something fresh, so this is the beginning of a journey that I hope and believe will be pretty significant, and to be here at the beginning is pretty special. Yeah.
So you can find out more about YWAM Pacific Waves on their website, which is ywampacificwaves.org. You can also follow along on their Facebook page, where you can get their latest news, including news like how they're running their Island Impact Summer Camp in Vanuatu from January 8th to the 18th. I actually did my part of my discipleship training school outreach in Vanuatu. And at the time, there were no permanent YWAM locations. So it's kind of exciting to see YWAM grow and the ministry there continue to grow in Vanuatu. The people there are amazing. The island is great. I have some great memories from there, including being left behind twice by the team I was a part of, which was interesting. But my time in Vanuatu was amazing, and it's great to see what God is continuing to do in that nation. The YWAM Creation Care online forum is going to be taking place again this January. And last year was a great success with over 45 participants, and you're invited to join together Wednesday the 24th and Thursday the 25th of January 2024. There you'll get a chance to hear from people in YWAM across the globe who are interested in and practicing creation care. Now, whether you're learning what creation care is or are a practice veteran, it is a great opportunity to learn, discuss, and connect together. The YWAM actually had a team at COP28 this month, and there should be some reporting from that meeting during the forum, as well as a chance to discuss how God asks us to care for his creation. So you can find a link to at ywampodcast.com/140 to the online registration for the forum. So YWAM Ships recently completed an outreach in their area of the Pacific.
My name is Bradley Cole, and I'm here representing YWAM Ships Philippines, and we're here in Barangay Samariñana. Just serving the people here, we've seen hundreds of people come from medical and dental and eye care, including 2 older women who walked 5 hours here barefoot just to see the eye doctor.
I'm Paul, an ophthalmologist from Palawan Eye Care. Currently, we are here in Barangay Samariñana with a population of 4,500, of which 40% of them are indigenous people. Now, I would like to thank the YWAM, the organization of YWAM, for helping us bridge the gap for the bringing services which are not accessible for them, for most of these people. And of course, with the help of the Philippine Marines.
Ako po si First Lieutenant Antonio Gonzales, Philippine Navy Marines ng 27th Marine Company, Marine Battalion Landing Team 7. Nire-represent ang Philippine Marines dito sa Brooks Point. Lubos na kaming nagpapasalamat sa YWAM Ships Philippines sa handog nilang medical dental mission dito sa Brooks Point. So hindi po naging posible ito kung hindi dahil sa pagtutulungan at kolaborasyon kasama ang local government unit ng Brooks Point, ng PNP, ng Philippine Coast Guard, at ng Palawan Eye Care, at ng iba't iba pang non-government organization. Itong medical dental mission na to ay naghahatid ng lubos na kasayahan at pag-asa sa mga kabataan at sa komunidad ng Brooks Point.
So in this mission, we will be focusing on providing eye care, and we will be conducting eye checkups, giving out free glasses, providing specific services like surgeries. And of course, our main goal will be to improve eye health and vision of the community here, ensuring that everyone has access to proper eye care.
We're seeing the Lord move in mighty ways. People are getting Bibles. People are hearing about Jesus. We're just serving the people of this community. But we're seeing amazing things, and we cannot wait to see what the Lord has in store for us tomorrow. So thank you everyone who's involved, and we'll talk to you soon.
So if you do head on over to YWAMpodcast.com/140, you can actually watch that video, including the translations. I should have said that too for the video from YWAM Vanuatu, where there's also Pidgin English spoken. And again, if you go to YWAMpodcast.com/140, you can watch the full video and see the translations for yourself. Now, YWAM Oxford Meme, we actually had another YWAM Meme review this month. So the sort of competition that started online on Instagram was between YWAM Oxford and YWAM Furnace. Unfortunately, YWAM Oxford really dropped the ball this month. They had nothing new at all. So YWAM Furnace kind of takes it just by default. However, they did have some bangers this month. So somehow I got memed twice, including one with me telling them to keep trying, and then another one with the leader of YWAM Oxford, of YWAM Furnace, covering his ears, saying that just ignoring the fact that I was telling them they need to be a bit funnier. Now, the one that I liked for the images was one of someone in the midst of worship covering his ears, and the caption was DTS students trying to find silence and solitude on outreach. And that is something that I suspect most people in YWAM have experienced at some point, unless you are an extreme extrovert, in which case you love it. Some of us, however, do desire that silence sometimes. Now, that said, my favorite one is the one that is a video one that I'll actually play for you now.
Obviously, don't go and do that, please.
Hey, you do whatever you like.
We can't condone anything of the sort.
No, we can't. Live! Live!
Obviously, don't go and do that, please.
Hey, you do whatever you like.
We can't condone anything of the sort.
No, we can't. Live! Live!
The challenge was, should I go live by faith as a missionary to the nations? And you can hear the answer is yes, you definitely should. It's something that you might want to consider doing. So now, in addition to providing the best YWAM memes on the internet, YWAM Furnace in New Zealand also runs an amazing ministry, which you can find out about on their website, ywamfurnace.nz. Thank you so much for downloading this, the 140th episode of the Youth with a Mission news show. Love your feedback. You can just head over to YWAMpodcast.com/140. You can find links to all these stories. You can watch the videos again. You can subscribe, and you can leave your comments as well. So thank you so much for joining us this year as we've shared with you a news program every month. We're looking into the new year. Again, we want to bring more people on board to fulfill the Great Commission and to see what God has for us. So thank you so much, and I look forward to chatting with you again next year.